What up, guys? JP back at you once again, bring you guys day number 29 in my 13th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with today's review, we have Mikey from the year 1992, courtesy of MVD Rewind. Which was a label that came out a few years ago. I only own a couple titles from the label, but it's a pretty cool label. A couple of re-releases in there that have been released on other companies as well. Mikey is a film that I've actually never seen before, but it feels like I've seen it because it is pretty by the numbers, essentially. So the plot of this film is it opens up with this kid named Mikey who is living with his adopted family, mother, father, sister, and essentially he gets all pissed off and he kills the sister, kills the mother, kills the father. He drowns the sister, electrocutes the mom, and bashes the dad's head in with a baseball bat after shoving him through a window with marbles. So then he is basically he kind of isn't suspected of the killings, but he kind of leaves behind a little red herring so that they go and look for some random dude. And he eventually gets adopted excuse me, by a new family. I knew I had seen this kid before, and I just read on the back, he is from blank Czech, which is you know what, it's kind of funny because in this movie he has a crush on an older chick, and in blank Czech is the same thing. That movie's kind of weird if you watch it by today's standards. But he gets adopted by a new family. There's actually a ton of familiar people in here. Ashley Lawrence from Hellraiser, Mimi Craven from Nightmare on Elm Street, White Hartford from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. He played the son Jacob. I knew he looked familiar as well. Pretty cool. Ashley Lawrence was in this. I didn't even recognize her. Was she the teacher? Maybe she was the teacher. But anyway, this movie, he moves in with his new family and begins to fit in perfectly. He's a classic example of the perfect kid. He's really smart, he's very polite, he's very manipulative. He manipulates all the adults around him, which is pretty standard as well. But he is a bastard. He's a little dickhead. He befriends this one kid in school who has an older sister who he develops a crush on, and she has a boyfriend who he doesn't like. So primarily this kid is just causing havoc amongst everybody. He ends up killing the girl's boyfriend, same way he killed his last mom, which was electrocution in water. She was in the bath. He threw something into the bath, like a hairdryer or something. And then this guy was in a hot tub, and he threw a radio in, a boombox into it, and it electrocutes him. Meanwhile, you have the teacher who begins to suspect something is wrong with Mikey based on his drawings and stuff. And she begins to she's also friends with the adoptive mom. And she basically tells her, hey, something's wrong with Mikey. Of course, this doesn't fly well. She thinks that, the teacher's just being a bee and doesn't want her to be happy. Mikey, there's actually, quite a bit of kills in this film, which was surprising to me. Because it almost feels like a TV movie, but there is some, nudity in it. And I think the kills are maybe a little too graphic for a TV movie, so maybe it just feels like one of those films that ran on TV all the time. But it kind of has that TV movie vibe to it. So another thing about this movie that I'll point out is I think the weakest aspect of this film is the acting. Like, the acting feels very cheesy and like over dramatic, and it makes the whole movie come off very cheesy. I think also what doesn't help this movie is we've seen this done so many times. The killer kid that's like extremely smart and manipulative and got all the adults like wrapped around his finger, and then it all starts falling apart and people start realizing something might be up with this kid, and then before then it's too late. I think we've seen this a bunch of times. However, this movie was extremely easy to watch. Like, it was fun, honestly. Like, it might be a little cheesy because of like some of the bad acting and stuff like that, but it is an extremely fun movie. I think the addition of actually having some kills in there helped out a bunch. The Mikey character is very, like, you hate him. You almost feel bad for like the parents because they just want to have a kid, can't have a kid. They adopt this hell spawn, ruins their lives. um, Sometimes he has these outbursts where he's just like, I hate you and you're not my real mother and stuff like that. So I think it's like a combination of, even though he is really smart and manipulates a lot of the adults, he still is a kid and has his guard down sometimes and acts on kid emotion. I think that's what they were kind of going with on here, because he definitely makes some mistakes. Like, the drawings, aren't really, that's going to draw attention to you, drawing people dead. Also, there is a scene where he says like his favorite movie is Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought that was pretty cool. 1992, this was like post Freddy being like a major MTV type icon. So it's kind of funny. It says on the back here in the description, it says Jason and Freddy were once kids too. That's funny. That just goes to show you how like popular those two characters and killers were back then, man. They just were such icons. To where so many different movies mention them. What else? Yeah. The relationship between Mikey and the girl next door, like the older chick, is pretty funny. He has like a big crush on her, but obviously to her, he's just a little kid. Even though she like kind of like flirts with him in like a older neighbor type way. I felt like that used to happen a lot more. I remember like that used to happen to me a lot with like older girls and stuff like that when I was like a little kid. And I don't think that really... I think now it just comes off creepy, but back then it was like cute. I don't know. But yeah, Mikey, it's a fun movie. It's definitely got its flaws. It's a movie that the acting isn't the strongest. It comes off a little cheesy and eye-rolly at times and stuff, especially since we've seen this done to death. I'm not sure if we've seen it done to death. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of killer kid movies in the 70s as well, so not reinventing the wheel here in the 90s with Mikey, but I really did think it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's definitely worth watching if you've never seen it. It's only like 90-ish minutes. So it cruises by pretty fast. It's a good, fast-paced movie. A lot of kills there towards the end too. So yeah, pretty cool. I enjoyed it. If you're curious about it, definitely check it out. I think you can get this MVD Rewind released pretty cheap nowadays. And as you guys know, we are going to do a top 10 of 1992 in the future on 22 shots. So, slowly pecking away at the 92 movies. And with that said, I will see you guys Next time tomorrow with another review. Only got 2 left, so peace out.